Alright lads and lasses, welcome to another Premier League predictions video. Now just before we start this, I'm going to do about a couple minutes worth of gloating. Not gloating as such, but saying a massive thank you to the Newcastle United fan base and the club. Obviously for winning the Carabao Cup, and congratulations to my fellow fans for having that honour bestowed upon us. It's been great to watch the last couple of years under Eddie Howe. And long may this trophy win and continue. With that being said, we're not going to dwell on this for too much longer, and we are actually going to get into the predictions. We'll do a quick run through of every single game that's going on this week, and we'll give you my thoughts, obviously, on each goal scorer and each scoreline. That's what I'm getting marked on in every form guide episode, and this is what I'm going to get marked on probably at the end of the season. So, with that being said, let's get straight into it. Wolves versus West Ham. Wolves are widening the gap between themselves and the relegation zone, currently occupied by the three promoted teams, that being Ipswich Town, Leicester City and Southampton. Now, I think the gap at the moment's about 5 to 7 points, something along those lines. West Ham have looked ever more convincing under Graham Potter and have largely been a more disciplined outfit overall. They've had the odd dicey performance here and there, but my opinion of the situation is that West Ham will just about have enough to draw level in this game. I think Wolves will be scrapping and fighting, so it will be a 1-1 draw. I feel like for West Ham it will be Jared Bowen to get the goal, and for Wolves it will be Matheus Cunha to pretty much put a nail in the coffin of one of Southampton or Leicester in their hopes of staying up. Arsenal versus Fulham. Now, Fulham won last week against Tottenham, a convincing 2-0 win at Craven Cottage. But can they do the double over another North London team? Now, let's have a look at Arsenal. Arsenal are currently second in the league, a 12-point gap between themselves and Liverpool. Arsenal, I believe, are on 58, which puts Liverpool on an even 70. I don't know, because Arsenal will want to win this title. There is no doubt in my mind about that. But I think the title's gone. There's still a lot of football left to play. I mean, I have to do this, including this one, another 9 fucking times. But I cannot see them going perfect. I can't see them getting 27 points out of 27 available. I can't see them catching up to Liverpool. Liverpool, in spite of the fact they did lose, obviously back-to-back games, one league game and then obviously the final with us, I feel like Liverpool will rebound massively well from that. And I don't see that Arsenal are going to close that gap. Maybe there's going to be an element of unmotivation. I don't know if that's even a word, but we'll run with it. So I feel like, again, it could be a sneaky Fulham win, but I'm going to go for, in my opinion, the safe shout of a 1-1 draw. Raul Jimenez will get the goal for Fulham, and for Arsenal, I'm going to say Kai Havertz. Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United. Now, if you just told me this at the start of the season, I would have went, okay, there's one relegation battling team and one team around the European places. Now, that is technically true, but it's the other way around to what we expect. At the City ground, I think Nottingham Forest have been spectacular pretty much all season, and I think the league position all but proves that. They're currently, I think, still sitting either third or fourth. They are doing absolutely incredibly well for a team that no one expected to come to this high this season. A lot of people, such as myself, tipped them to go down after what happened the year before, surviving relegation, I think, by 4 points in the end. So, what do I think? Man United are coming off the win against Leicester, 3-0 win. Quite convincing, to be fair, and obviously Leicester are looking more and more likely to basically drop into the Championship for a permanent stay next season. So I think it will be a 1-0 win for Nottingham Forest away at home. Away from home, what am I on about? Chris Wood will get the goal. It'll just come from a set piece, probably out-jump Lisandro Martinez, who for some stupid reason will probably end up marking him, and I think it'll go in. So easy enough for Nottingham Forest. And come on lads, try and get that Champions League football secured. I am rooting for you if Newcastle indeed don't turn up and basically chase you down for that spot. So best of luck. Southampton and Palace. Palace are playing a lot better than Southampton. Southampton look down and out. They really do. They really do look like they are dejected. They look like there's nothing to play for, like life isn't worth living. I mean, Jesus Christ, they look about as miserable as I do after I have to eat a salad. It's like ridiculously bad. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Palace. I think it's going to be easy. Mateta will get one and Eze will get the other. I just think it's going to be an easy victory for Palace. It's going to be a walkover. And Palace are in good form. Southampton are in shit form. So I think that this is one of the most obvious predictions in the list. Now, don't you dare come back and bite us. I swear to God, if this comes back and bites us, if this is the one game I get wrong, I'm going to be fuming. Bournemouth and Ipswich up next. I feel like Ipswich again are one of those teams that are looking increasingly more likely to drop down. Obviously, they are the best in terms of points tally and goal differential in the relegation zone, I believe, up to this point. Kieran McKenna's team are fighting, but they are not getting enough points at this stage of the season. Now, can they pick up against the European battling outfit at the moment in Bournemouth? Can the shit? Can the shit? You know, Iriola's team have been excellent. By and large, they have again been another shock alongside Nottingham Forest. This season have been absolutely sublime. I think they are still in the Conference League spot. 7th, obviously. They may be even higher than that at this point. So I'm going to say it's going to be an easy Bournemouth win, 2-0. I think Evan Nielsen will get both. I don't know if he's injured, but I'm going to say him to get both. If he is, you know, just ignore that and I'll probably go for Cliver to get 2 instead. Brighton versus Villa. Now, this is two teams that are just outside of that European battling spots. Why do I keep saying relegation? I've got it on the brain. We're not in 2016, Jake. You don't have to worry about Newcastle going down. Anyway, Brighton and Villa. I think two teams that are very, very, very talented. There is no doubt. Brighton, I believe, are currently sitting just outside of the top 10. Maybe 11th or 13th, because I'm pretty certain Palace are 12th. I can't remember which order it goes in at the moment. Aston Villa, I think, are 9th at the moment. They aren't doing well, but they are doing well enough. Champions League wise, they are obviously thriving, but they are not prioritising the league, and quite rightly so. Because obviously you'd always want to go for the cup if you can. It's a trophy on the board, as we found out only a couple of days ago. Or a week ago when this gets released. Anyway, I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. To cut a long story short, João Pedro will get the goal for Brighton, and for Villa it will be Ollie Watkins. I think it's the two most obvious shouts, and I think this game is going to be a stalemate. There's not really much to separate them for pound in terms of player quality. The only edge that Villa have is the tactical management, because Ursula, despite a positive start at the start of the year, has really tapered off towards the back end of this season, and maybe that is the only dicey point that I'm really looking at and going, that could be a problem. So let me know what you think about that result down in the comments, but we'll move into the second half of fixtures now. The second half of fixtures kicks off with Newcastle versus Brentford. Now, if we play the way that we did in that cup final, then we could pierce Brentford here. We really, really could. Brentford are by no means pushovers. They are tactically excellent, so well drilled, and have got the best of us a couple of occasions. One notable example being the 4-0 or 4-1 win that they had against us. Incredible performance from them on that day. In my opinion, I think Newcastle in the Premier League have been sluggish this season. We haven't been at our very best. But it only takes one result to turn it around. We came into the cup final on a win. An unconvincing win, granted, but it was a win nonetheless. It gave us a little bit more buoyancy and confidence. The cup final has been by far the best I've seen us play in a very long time. And why not? I think it will continue. So I will say a 3-0 win for Newcastle. Alexander Isak will get 1. I believe Gordon is still suspended for this game, because I think it was a 3-match ban he got. So I will say Harvey Barnes, and I will also say Bruno Guimaraes to get on the score sheet. I think he didn't score in the cup final. That will be a little bit of a heartbreak for him, but I feel like he's going to bounce back. He had an excellent performance in the midfield, but I think today he will get on the score sheet. Manchester City versus Leicester. we're going to end this now. It's going to be 6-0 Man City. Like, you could band about any fucking scoreline in the world, but you're coming up against Leicester, who, again, as I've mentioned before, are looking worse and worse and are teetering on that edge of being relegated with a lot of games spare. Same with Southampton. I think maybe in the next 4 weeks they get relegated and it's confirmed, like with 4 or 5 games to go. I don't see them getting a point here. So, for goal scorers, Erling Haaland hat-trick, Gundogan for 1, De Bruyne for 1, and Josko Gvardiol for 1 as well. I feel like in spite of City's patchy form, this is going to be a given. I think this is a given. If it isn't, I will be extremely shocked. And, you know, you can name whatever forfeit you want us to do for this. If anything other than a Man City win comes out of this game, I will do whatever you want within reason. I'm not going naked, alright? Not for the ladies, or the men for that matter. Anyway, yes, I will be quite willing to put a forfeit on the line for that, so let me know what you want us to do. The Merseyside derby is up next, Liverpool and Everton. It's going to be a feisty affair, that's for sure. Schlott's team are playing okay, obviously back-to-back defeats that I mentioned earlier, but apart from this one blip, have been absolutely superb. Sean Dyche, when he managed Everton, got a draw out of this game. Now it's David Moyes in the dugout, and Everton are looking confident. This is one thing that you couldn't have said when Sean Dyche was managing them. They look so much more assured, so much more confident. Now, does this mean that they're going to win this game? Absolutely not. But they have a chance. I'm going to go for the same result again. I think this is going to be a net 0 goal difference. It's going to be another 1-1 draw. Abdoulaye Doucouré will put Everton in front in the early stages, all for Luis Diaz to get onto the pitch and score from about 30 yards out, or something of that nature. But that's my prediction for the Merseyside derby, but let me know what you think of that game, because it is probably my game of the week. That is, apart from this one. Chelsea versus Tottenham. A couple of big derbies this week, I've got to say. Chelsea look way more assured. You know, we mentioned earlier about Fulham beating Tottenham off the park 2-0. And I think, why can't Chelsea do the same? Chelsea are again in that European fight. I think they're still above Man City in the league, occupying that last Champions League spot, of course. I think Chelsea win this by an absolute canter. 2-0 to Chelsea. I think it's going to be a repeat result for Tottenham. Back-to-back 2-0 defeats. Goal scorers for Chelsea will be Nicholas Jackson. And, of course, Cold Palmer. That sounds like a boxing nickname now. Do not get involved, mate. You're scrawny as fuck. But you are an absolutely incredible footballer. So, with that being said, that is my Premier League predictions for game week number 30. Remember, Jake, only 8 more times after this one. You're going to be at the end of the tunnel soon. It means you can move on to something that you're actually interested in. I am interested in football. I'm just kidding, alright? Don't get this the wrong way. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what your predictions are down below. If there are any interesting predictions, let me know. We'll have a back and forth. I'm more than willing to respond to comments. As for the forfeit, let me know. I'm willing to put it down for 2 games. So 2 separate forfeits. One for the Crystal Palace and Southampton game. If Southampton do not lose that game, I will be willing to put a forfeit forward for that as well. So give me your 2 forfeits. Give me your predictions. Let me know what you want to see in the next video. And until the next one, goodbye for now. I'm going to go and get pissed and enjoy the fact that we've actually won a trophy after 56 years. Thank you for watching.